won't go through. This is his third attempt. There are already 15 over 228.
Okay, how is this? Let's go through a paper and watch the Olympics at the same time. Alright, part 3. So I'm expecting these to be a little bit harder. So what I'm thinking is we should reach around the 45-minute mark. If not, then that's great. So far we've saved 25 minutes. Well, I've saved 25 minutes. So I'm just, again, trying to give you a bit of an idea of how long I guess you should spend on each question. Okay. I think this is, I've just had a look at this, I think this is a pretty nice question because it's basically one of those financial questions, but it gives you what to do. It tells you exactly what to do. And it's saying my new amount is my previous amount compounded, and then I must make a withdrawal or something. Yeah, okay, withdrawal. And it's told my starting, I just need to find it after the third withdrawal. It just means I need to do this 3 times. That's all that means. Okay, so A1 is going to be equal to 0. Compounded, then I make a withdrawal. Now A0 is this. There's the 0 there.
Lane 2 and in lane 1, the American.
Okay, that's approximately equal to 5.502. A2 is going to be
outdoors, no better than third, twice on the medal stage.
my old amount, compounded.
Running these games before for the United States, part of a deep United States squad in the 800 meters with Raven Rogers and Thing Mo. Women's 800 meters, heat number 6, off and
you can see that I've rounded and I'm creating more and more error the more that I would do this. So realistically, take as many decimal points as you can,
break in now,
or save your answer into the calculator's memory.
Really good quality action so far in these 8s. It's whetting the appetite.
What have we got here? 800 meters. Okay, so that's it. So that's how much after the third withdrawal.
So difficult to qualify for the American team.
Calculate the amount of interest and do the first 3 months. Alright, so basically this person's, what are they doing? They're investing money, gaining interest, and they're withdrawing.
Rogers came through.
So I guess I've got to find the difference between how much I'm withdrawing. So
time as they go through the first
withdrawals.
100 meters, everybody's been coming through right around 59, 60, 59.5. So that's
withdrawals is 3 times 800.
Else has gone through.
Okay, so this is how much I take out of the account.
Now we'll see who
So
goes through
the account really should have
semifinals. Bello maintaining the lead right
this
there.
much less this much. So try to write that.
In 4th, right there along the rail. Wang on the outside. You're gonna run wide. Backstretch.
Oh, actually, it's still like this. So this is how much I should have taken out of the account. But let's figure out how much actually came out of the account. So this minus this. So that how much actually came out. So
on the outside goes to the front. Wilson in 5th, who you would expect to come through, struggling a bit as they come off the last turn and 100 meters to go.
What was it? 5.8492.
You know, hold off. Here comes Wilson trying to get one of the top 3. That's where it goes. And feels like she's got everybody measured, and yes, just gets through there. So Ricky Wilson, and then it looked like maybe it was Visto.
Okay, that's equal to
Wang got up into the third, edging
1.507.51. So basically, I've withdrawn this.
Really good run there.
This is how much has actually come out of the account because interest is being added. So I've taken this out, and now, so I start with 60 grand. I've taken this out, but now the account has this in it, which is more. Okay, so I just got to find the difference. So that'll tell me the interest.
Gemma, Ricky and Laura Muir have been training really well together. Good run from Wang, the Asian Games champion from Indonesia 3 years ago. Visto, the national record holder for Finland, over 1,500 meters.
So, like, this is how much I wanted to come out. This is how much has actually come out, which isn't that much, which isn't as much as this. So this is the interest. That was a bit of a hard question. It was worded strange. Calculate the amount of money in the account immediately after the 94th withdrawal. So think about, I guess this is where our last lesson kind of comes in. I don't want to have to do this 94 times. So a pattern's going to kind of happen here, and I guess we can investigate what the pattern might look like. And it would have made more sense if maybe I showed some more work in here, but this is worth 3 marks, so I can show the work in here, that's fine. So that's basically going to look like
she is brilliant, and she looks fairly relaxed if you assess her body language there.
You can pretty much do this, but don't evaluate anything. So,
no, I mean, first through
gains
third
interest.
separated by 8/100ths of a second.
Take away 800.
Yeah, I'm sure her coach was exhorting her.
Second one
The time to move was perhaps
is a 1.
sooner, but once you're
Gain
through, right,
interest.
nothing hurt.
Take away
Tactics is
800.
fine.
So let's see what A1 is in massive
She got a
brackets.
personal best in 6th, 2:01.16, and I think she might have taken the last of the non-automatic qualifier spots. There was a little shoving the back there from Gajanova, the
Shoving the back.
Slovakian 800-meter runner.
Running
This
race.
was Wilson's late charge to deny the flying
So
Finn.
all of this times this is just going to put 2
Semi-finals,
there.
courtesy of a national record in 4th.
The latest of the flying Finns, right?
And then this times this.
There have been many.
Yes.
2:01.16 to get through. That's
Minus
2:01.16
800.
just to get through into the semis.
Now
That's
factor out the 800 out. As soon as you see a pattern, you can stop. So minus 800.
Just inside 2
Side of
minutes.
1.005
Three
plus
Americans
1.
are through, 2
Now,
Great
kind of, you can kind of refer to this as 1, this as 1.005 down to 0. So now I've got my pattern. It's basically
a tight heat and a
A2,
fast heat is 6 of them.
A2,
advance.
and then 1 less than
Or
that.
final, a semifinals.
So a 94 would look like 94 minus 800.
Well, here's just a
And then in brackets I have 1.005, 1 less than that, so 93,
So
and it will
good.
go all the way down to 1. Now I find the sum of that,
Rosemary Almanza,
so
the Cuban, one of the fastest women in the world this
S94.
year.
Now I'll write my ingredients.
Halima Nakai
All
coming
this,
through as one of the
it's A is
automatic
equal to, so the
qualifiers.
first
So
one
to
is
Alex
1,
Bell, who missed out
and
by
my rate equals to
thousands in her heat.
1.05, and the amount of them, there's 94 of them. The sum of the 94 terms is
Keely
1
Hodgkinson,
outside
the
of, and
youngster,
I need
a
that.
teenager. Could she give Affing Mo something to
1.005
think
to the
about
power
come the
of
semis and
94
the final?
minus
Cracking
1.
semi-finals to
Off
come
the top of
in
my
the
head,
women's
look at this.
800 metres.
So the men's high jump,
That
packing up their
is
bags and
equal
heading off.
to-
It was 2:28 clearance
top
to
of my head.
get you through to the final.
Okay, no, I have it off the top of my head.
There are 12, in fact there were 13.
Alright, well I'm just
I
going
don't
to
think they
substitute
have,
that
I think
in
sadly
there. So
that Tom Gale, who jumped a
A94.
season's best,
I'll
but he got
shuffle
on
this
his
in the
third
calculator at the
attempt
same
and may
time.
not go through. I think they will just take the top 12, and there we are with the first.
Oh my God, there's a lot of writing,
all the
3
way
marks.
through with Barsham, Lovett and Kerr. And then McEwen, Tamberi, Ivanyuk,
But
Gale.
really, this question's exactly the same as every other question that looks like this. Like, I swear I've done this question like 8 times in the last 2 weeks, but it's exactly the same process.
Down at 2:21,
Okay, I
2:17.
type all that into the calculator.
Mark back there, but it was 2:28
187.85. I know
clearance.
this is a little bit
on
unrealistic
your
because I'm
first
actually
or
typing it
second
in,
attempt that got you through to
but,
the final.
you know, spend a minute typing that in.
Good to see the
It does
Canadian
make for good
Django
watching,
in
I
the
suppose.
mix. I think he
What
qualified
does make for
14
good watching
with
is the Olympics in the
2:33
background, so that's pretty cool.
final
That's high jump.
attempt in their national
2.2 meters, are you
championships.
serious?
Well, I've watched him jump a bit, and I think he's got some good potential. He
Ah,
could be in the
alright.
mix for the medals. 'Cause
This is the most controversial
jumps that
question of
competition
the
he's
advanced and
gone
standard
out,
paper. So this was
he's
common,
actually had
and
really
it
good
talks
height
about
over the
crickets,
bars.
and it's
So if he
basically
can
a
get his
span
timing
of
right,
information
he may
worth 5
actually
marks, and then
get
here's a
through.
page of working out.
Of course, we did have the
So I'm
two
going to read the question
qualifying
first, like an
pools there, and
English
they are the results that have been
response,
displayed, so you can see
and then
where
go
it
back
says
and
ninth
do
there,
my comprehension on the other stuff.
2:21.
Calculate the number of chirps expected in a 15-second
Two
interval when the
pools
temperature is
combined
19
when you had to
degrees.
jump 2:28 on your
Okay,
second attempt.
so here I'm
First attempt to get through.
not here.
Men's high jump
I have read
qualification,
this,
just
but
confirming
it
them
says
all
something
there.
about
You
temperature
can see
and the
first
amount of
line
chirps
of
of a
big
cricket
names in that
and
competition.
an XY coordinate. So I'm looking at bivariate data, basically looking for the coordinate 15,
Stark, the Commonwealth
19,
champion,
or 19, 15, depending on what's
second
what.
American McEwen,
So
Tamberi,
this
the colourful
here,
Italian,
X, is the sample mean of the temperature.
Tom Gale did
And then
get through, so they are taking 13.
temperature,
There you go. So
and
at
Y is the
228,
chirps.
you get
The
to
chirps measured in.
live another
Nothing,
day.
chirps. Okay, so I'm looking for
230 was
XY,
always going to be tough
where that
for that automatic
is,
qualification. A great final
just
in
say,
prospect and a lovely image
the number of chirps
of the
of Y.
centre of
Temperature
the
was X.
Japanese
Okay.
capital and the warm-up track, as you would expect.
Alright.
Our opening
So,
session of athletics is an absolute hive.
My XY coordinate,
World-class
it wants,
activity.
oh no, the number of chirps. So I want to calculate Y, that's my goal.
It's brilliant.
Well, without
I'm
being
given a
disrespectful
least
to the
squares
rest of the
regression
Olympic
line,
Games, I feel
which is
like
based on my
we finally
data.
started the
So basically I'm
Olympics
just going to be using
Bring on
this.
the athletics, not that I'm
Y
biased.
equals
Controversial there from the
I'm
Australian.
going to write what I
There's
want. Minus
Samba,
10.
one of the fastest
6063.
men in the world. The man from
Plus
Qatar.
the X. Okay, at the end of the day, I want to be able to substitute an X value in here, which is 9. Okay, I want to be able to put 19 in here, and that'll give me a Y value, which is the answer.
Sparkling form we
So
might expect.
Y
This guy has been
equals
Alison dos
minus
Santos.
10.
He's broken the South American record 4 times since May. He is absolutely
19.
on
That's
fire.
my
But
goal.
if he's going to beat Rai Benjamin or Carsten Varholm, he's going to have to be.
Sorry, I
And
was
also
watching
that
that bloke
record, I
run.
mean, that record was held
Anyway.
by
Okay, so I guess the first thing I'm going to do is find B.
Olympic, two-time
Now,
Olympic champion.
Felix
it
Sanchez.
tells me that the least square regression line passes through the
Yeah,
point
so,
XY,
you know, there's no way that
where
was a slouchy
X
record
bar
to break either.
is the sample mean of the temperature.
This is why we're
Now
all
here it says the mean of
salivating
the
with this
temperature
race, I
is
think,
that
because
much
to
lower
watch
than the
three
median
men be
of the
so
data set.
fast.
The median of the data set is
And
22.
I'm just,
So that
you know,
means
had
the
previous
mean is
conversations, and
22
it's such a brilliant
less than
condition. I've never
this.
seen
So that
400
means
hurdler
X
hurdle
bar
as well
is
as
equal
how
to,
he
so it's
hurdles.
22
It's really
minus
incredible to watch.
0.525.
There's such,
0.525.
beautiful rhythm,
Right.
really fantastic drive. He's so balanced over the hurdles.
21.475.
Yeah, fantastic performer.
Y
That's
bar
Kyron McMaster. He's
tells
the
me that
Commonwealth
it
champion.
is the sample
Rai
mean
Benjamin,
of the chirp data.
500ths away from what was.
Okay, well if there's this many chirps
World record by Kevin Young at the US trials,
and
then his
this many
arch
data
rival
points,
Carsten Varholm went
so in other words they collected 20 data, 20 sets of data, and in total there was this amount of chirps. What's the average? Well, it's going to be the total divided by how many there were. So 684 divided by 20.
Seriously, everybody that knows athletics,
684
you're
divided
looking
by
at a
20.
time under
That's going to be
47
equal
seconds.
to
That's a seriously, that would make most
34.2.
countries'
Okay,
national
now I have a
400
coordinate.
flat
So that
final.
means X bar,
You know, and
Y
I'd
bar
love
is
to
equal
watch
to
these guys run 400 flat against each other.
21.475.
That would be an awesome display to see
34.2.
how
I'd say this
fast
would
that
be
actually
a couple of
get
marks at
down
least,
in
surely.
a really top-notch competition.
It tells me that least square regression line passes through that point, so that's going to help me find B.
Benjamin will run those
So
over 400s, and
let's
he
go down
runs
here.
with
This
his training
implies
partner Michael Norman. He's
so
no
Y.
slouch
This is
over
my Y,
400. So
my X.
he gets
So
plenty of competition when he gets out there
34.2. So
without
I'm
the
going to put
barriers
this
in
and
terms
this into here.
of checking where his speed is.
34.2 equals negative
So we do have another round of the
10.6063.
discus here.
Plus
Reggie
B,
Gregor's the third from the
21.475.
USA. On screen
Okay, now I
there.
could solve this as if it was an equation.
He's thrown over
So what I'm going
67
to do
metres
is,
this year. If he
I'm going
replicates
to move that over so it becomes a plus, and then I'm going to divide by this,
Western
which is going to give
Samoa
me B is
could be the
equal
first
to
Western Samoan athlete ever to make an Olympic final. It'd be
approximately
brilliant to see that. And there's our rising star, as referred to
2.08644.
him, Christian Che.
Okay, so that
Can't
tells
seem to
me
get the better of
that
Stall during the
my
season, but he's
equation,
certainly the next best
Y
potential with this
equals
season.
minus
He's
10.
had
So
a
there's a
really
lot involved in this
wonderful
question.
season, the 22-year-old.
Plus
He was second as a European junior and then won the under-23 European Championships.
X. Okay, now we have an equation. Let's actually solve it. So it's telling me that at
So
19
Stall, the only
degrees,
one in round in the first
calculate
round,
the number of
got
chirps.
the automatic qualifier. This is the men's discus.
It says 15-second intervals because that's how it's calculated. So they
66 metres is
sat there for
qualifier.
15
They're
seconds,
going to take
20
the
times,
first
and
12
have a look at how many chirps there are. That's basically what that's saying. So don't get confused by this 15 seconds,
Not
even though there's a
brilliant
complete spam of information
conditions
on
for
this
the discus.
page.
There is no wind here.
Okay,
in
so
the
at
stadium.
X
There's a couple of
equals
legendary
19,
names in this event.
Y equals
Schultz
minus
and
10,
Alegna.
6063
That
plus
is the qualifying line, that yellow line
2.08644,
at
I'll sub in
66
19.
metres.
and that's approximately equal to 29.03, blah blah blah,
Very, very good athletes
approximately
here.
29.
The Commonwealth
Chirps.
champion, Dak Rates, from Jamaica.
Holy moly, that is a stupid question. Okay. In a particular country, the hourly rate of pay for adults who work is normally distributed. So mean, standard deviation.
Leading the field off.
The two adults who work normally who both work chosen at random. Final probability. Okay. I always like to draw a normal distribution when it's telling me it's a normal distribution, so I can do that. Okay, the mean is 25, standard deviation is 5, 30,
Che, you would expect to take this one out.
40, 1, 2, 3, 20, 15, 10. Final probability that one of them earns between $15 and $30. $15
will start.
and $30. Okay, so the red
been a really great year for discus
is going to be, so I
quite
guess
a
you're just going
number
to
of
remember
men going
what
up
the
over the
percentages are.
67,
Well, I
but
do
they will have
not.
to replicate
Hope
that,
that I
if
do.
not very close to it, to get into the final.
Right, well, oh, it's probability. Yeah, right. Okay.
66
So,
metres, you'd love to throw it on your first
let's
throw.
find out what the percentage.
then
Oh,
bags
probability can
and
be a
head off
percentage.
the track and
So I guess we can figure out what
no doubt
this
these
part
guys
is
will have a big wheel.
first,
And rest up for the
and
final.
then do this part. Would that make sense? Or would I do that part
I'm always
and then this
amazed
part?
at how, for these big men, they have such great feet.
Yeah, let's do
Just
that.
very nimble.
Let's
For
go
guys that size,
this,
which obviously you can't
and then this.
stay in that ring and spin.
Okay, well that's
Have
68%.
that body control without it, but just not what you'd expect.
What's
Just
this?
wonderful feet.
So in all the
Well,
field events, really, if you go back to your
this
year
whole
9
thing
science class,
here
probably year 7 speed times height
is
equals
it
distance.
95?
So they all have to try and release it as
Okay.
fast as they possibly
it's
can in all the
95.
field events. Looked off balance that throw
Minus 68.
from
So that gives me
Nestrenko.
these two.
So discus throws
then
traditionally
divide
are
by
very
2.
tall,
Hope that
big
makes
athletic men
sense.
with long
Hope
arms.
that makes sense. Okay, so the probability
So I think all
equals,
the
so
positioning of
there we
the
are.
disc flying well, the flight path, but
68 plus
unbalanced in the circle.
95 minus 68
59.71 for Nestrenko.
on 2.
Has thrown over
83.
66 metres this year, so he won't be happy with that as an
83%,
opener.
is that right?
And here's
Got that wrong.
Che.
Oh, I wrote
Almost looks like
65 instead
Superman,
of
doesn't he?
68.
Let's hope he can throw the disc like him.
81.5.
He seems very calm in the circle.
Alright, let's watch this bloke throw.
Performs beyond his years. 22, that's very young for a thrower. At this level.
Why are they screaming? Holy moly, that's a big throw.
Over
Make
65
4-5.
to start with.
Okay.
Great way to open up the competition. Christian Che.
Are we done here? I'm so confused.
You can see him drive his legs. Again, with all the throws, you must use your legs before
Okay.
you ever do anything almost with your arms, anything
I'm just,
meaningful anyway.
this is a 3-mark question. This is
Use muscle in
saying,
your body,
find the
so
probability
you must
that
make sure you
at
use
least
them.
one of them. So when someone says at least one of them, it means 1 minus
Very
no one
balanced.
doing it. So
I think he's nice and
I've
smooth
made
in
a
the circle as
mess of
well.
this.
Often that way you can
Probability
judge
of
how
at
well a throw has
least
gone. The way an
one
implement comes out of the hand
is the
and
same
how
as 1
balanced and
minus the
smooth movement in
probability
the
of
circle is.
none.
Or on the runway, for that matter.
Okay.
In the javelin.
Now we just found the probability of
We turn
some.
our attention to the
So
first
really
of
this is
5
going to be
heats
1
in the
minus
men's 400-meter
1
hurdles.
minus
What
the
an event this
probability
is. Is it going to
that
take
they
a
do,
world
that they
record for
work.
gold?
Which is 1 minus 1 minus
Carsten Varholm,
85%, which is equal 81. Why do I keep running 85?
incredible mark of Kevin Young.
1.5%.
Rai Benjamin just 500ths outside that scorching time.
Okay.
Benjamin
Is
will go in the fifth of the
0.97.
heats. Here's the lineup for our opening heat in the men's 400-meter hurdles. Incredible event.
The number of adults who work is equal to 3 times the number of adults who don't work.
Fourth
One
fastest
adult
in
chosen at
history,
random.
ninth
Find the
fastest in the
probability
world
that
this year.
the
It's been a
person that
solid
works earns more than $25 per hour.
season for Sam.
Okay, the
One in
number of
Henry.
adults who work is
He's
equal
kept a
to
low
3
profile.
times the number of adults that don't work.
Second from the inside, then he will be the athlete closest to that inside leg.
Okay.
Knowledge of
Probability
Jamaica
that
he'll be
the
2
chosen
outside him in
adult
4 and 2
work
outside him.
and
There is
okay, so this
fourth world
means
champs 4 years
times
ago. Close to his PB
and
this year.
earns more. Okay,
Pan
well this
American bronze
person,
a couple of years
if they
ago
earn
as
more than
well.
$25 an hour, that means they earn more than
African
this.
champion.
That's going to be 50%.
African Championship finalist,
Well,
I beg your
basically
pardon,
that's
2
tough.
years ago.
So that means 50%. Now the other part is a little bit less straightforward. This talks about 3 times the number of adults. So if you think about alright, so like no, I'll still do this 3 times. It's like kind of like 3 times what, or 3 times 1. So pretend this is like 1. These are the people that.
So the lanes to feature here. Lahulu of Algeria in 8, DeSantos of Brazil.
Okay, so this is the amount of people that don't work.
Jamaica in 4.
3 times that is 3. So these are the people that do work. So you can kind of consider these as 4 unique things, where the probability of this is going to be 3 on 4, and the probability of this is going to be 1 on 4. So basically the probability that the chosen adult works is 3 on 4. Hope that makes sense. So this is equal to 3 on 4, and I'm timesing, like I said, and this probability here is just a half. So this is 3 on 8. So I feel like that's a 2-mark question because it's quite a leap from here to here.
Plus the next fastest 4.
Alright,
5 heats.
let's go to some graph.
Salvo in what promises to be one of
Oh
the
no, it's calculus. Show that the equation of the tangent to y equals, okay, so that's this graph, at x equals p is this. The problem with these questions is it doesn't give us anything, like there's no, there's no values except for 1, but we know that every logarithm cuts to 1, so this is going to be a little confusing, but well. Equation of the tangent is this thing. Okay, this is weird because that is the gradient, and that is the y-intercept. I think it's important to make that connection to us, otherwise this just looks like a span of nothing. So I'm showing that the equation of the tangent is that, which means I need to differentiate that. So y equals c ln x equals y dx equals, now the derivative of this is 1 on x, and that's just a constant, so that's c times 1 on x, or c on x. Now I set equation of the tangent to that. So normally I'd set that equal to 0 and I'd figure out what, like where my stationary point is. No, I'm trying to find the gradient. So this is equal to m.
Look, I think one of the things that happens with the 400 hurdles in heats
at
is
x
if you
equals
take
p.
it a little bit
Okay,
slowly,
so
you find
basically
yourself in
saying
different
that
positions
at
when you're about to take
x
off for the
equals
hurdle,
p,
and so it can be really
the gradient,
inefficient.
which would be
It's
m,
difficult
is equal to
run
c
slow
on, so I'm
400
substituting p
hurdles
into here,
slower than what
so
you
c
can
on p.
efficiently.
So that's how I've gotten that. Now I just need the y-intercept.
Some of the others might really give it a bit for the first 200 to set it up, and then you might be able to relax it a bit. But if you do it too early, you can find yourself in a little bit of trouble.
I know the gradient.
There's a pattern and a rhythm to it, and that if you get off, you're used to every time. You know.
Okay, so normally what I tell you to do here is go y equals mx plus c and find what this is, but I think it's slightly easier to go point gradient formula because I've got a point, which is this, and a gradient.
Pick back up and re-accelerate, and it can be very difficult.
In fact, I looked at him over the back straight here and on the top
Yeah.
end.
Okay, so
and
point
he got
gradient.
close
So
to the
y
line,
minus
so he just stretched
y1
to get to it.
equals
If he was
m
running
x
faster,
minus
he wouldn't have had to
x1.
stretch so much
That's
to try and
y
overstride to try and
minus
get to that hurdle.
c
And I
ln
think
x
the other thing that I kind of
equals
picked up
my
was watching
gradient,
Samba
c on
technically
p,
is on the back
x minus
straight,
x1,
his lead
x
leg
minus
was quite high, and I'm sure
p.
again that's because he wasn't running at the pace that he's used to running at, or that he's training for.
Am I getting close to
Don't want
that?
to chop those steps. Don't want to reach. Find the happy medium. Find the
Yep.
pace. And
No, y
find that
equals
rhythm.
c
The
on
nice thing
p
is anymore the way the hurdles
x
are
minus
balanced.
c
Clip one, you don't just go
p on
falling like you
p
used to.
plus c
Thank
ln
goodness.
x. Okay, so I expanded
Back
and
to
moved
the
this over there.
discus.
That's how I got all that.
Peterson,
Okay, so that's c
the
on
second of the
p
Swedish discus throwers,
x minus c plus
just over the 60
ln.
metre mark. So
I've
looking for
got ln x.
66.
Oh, it's at,
It's a
okay,
clean
so I've
mark.
set
Sometimes you
this,
just
that
have
means
to
I can
put
substitute X
qualifying, get
with
one in and
P.
then give it a little bit
ln
more on your
C
second
on
and everything for sure on your third.
P. That
He's
should
made a
really
mark.
be
You can take a little bit of a
P.
breath, get used to
So
the
my point.
environment.
So at X equals P, my gradient should have a P in it, and my equation for Y should also have a P in it. So Y equals C.
Reggie
So
Jaeger's
that
the
there
third.
should also be P.
He's had a good
Okay,
season.
2 marks.
Again, up over 67
It just looks
metres.
so gross because there's no numbers.
PB of 68, so he's not
Right, fun way of C is such that the
very
tangent from
disappointed
part
with
A
that
has a
throw
gradient
as he
of
steps
1
through.
and
Maybe not at an Olympic Games to get a mark on the board.
passes
You
through
can see
the
from his
origin.
face he's
Okay,
not
so they've
happy.
given us two
He's missed
sets
that.
of information.
He's timed it
It's
completely.
basically saying
Looked like it almost came too far out
the
the
gradient
side of his hand,
is
actually.
1. That's
So
the tangent
most
from
of these
part
guys
A.
that
Okay,
throw
so
up around the
remember
67 metre
M
mark would expect
equals
to almost throw
C
60
on
metres
P.
from a
That's
standing
1
let alone
equals C on P,
let alone
which
when you do
means
the
C
spin.
equals P. That's my first piece of information. My second piece is that it passes through the origin.
You see the finish
So that means I've got
first
the
heat in
point
the
0,
men's 400.
0. So that tells me
Not
I'm just going
exactly
to
a blanket
use
finish,
this.
but 1-2
0
running
equals
easily along
C
together.
on P, 0.
Samra
Minus
opening
C
his quest for
plus C
Olympic glory
ln
in fine
P.
style. De
So
Santos
0
also looking
equals
pretty smooth.
minus
Good run
C
from Lahulu on the
plus
outside,
C
and Bowie
ln
denying Vail
P.
the fourth automatic
That's
spot.
minus C outside of
Great looking track.
1 minus limp.
Very busy fan this morning
What
with
am I
2
doing?
rounds
Trying to
of
find the value
two
of
pulls
C
of the high jump qualifying and a discus
such
going on at the
that so
same end.
it's
We attempt not to put a long throw at the opposite end to
yeah,
a high jump,
oh,
just in case.
I'm going to use this to put a C there.
Shelley-Ann Fraser-Price, the double Olympic champion. She'll be going in
Minus
the
C. 1
first
minus
round proper,
1.
as it were. We've
Okay,
had
now
the
I've got C's
previous
everywhere. Good. So
earlier on
this
in
implies
this
that
session.
either C equals 0 or 1 minus
at her very
ln C
best
equals
at
0,
the
which
tender
means
age of
1 equals
34.
ln C,
An absolutely incredible record.
which
Is
means
there more
if I
Olympic
take
glory
the E
to
of
come
both sides,
from
I'm
her?
going to get C
As the cameras
equals
focus in,
E to the power of 1, which is
Chava
just
of
E.
Mozambique getting ready for this
Okay.
heat of the men's.
Oh wait, find the value of C.
Close up there of Jalil Hyde as he gets ready to
Can
open
beat the
his
values of C.
Olympic competition.
Ooh, it says value.
Starting here 1 week after the opening ceremonies that
Oh, but
saw the celebration.
okay,
here of
P
these
has to equal
games.
0. Be greater than
See
0.
all
So also
8 of the
C has to be
contestants.
greater than
These
0.
Lane 1 open.
So
Tight turn that
but
rather not have to put someone in there if you don't need
C
to.
has to be greater than 0.
Stretch them out
Therefore,
all the way into lane 9.
okay.
If you're in lane
Okay.
9, the idea is to see no one else.
Diagram shows 2 parameters.
I do
Shows the
not need
coordinate
company.
A is
I'll run out
oh,
here by
nice.
myself.
Where do they intersect? Well, that and that they intersect when this equals this. So simultaneous equations. We've got 4x minus x squared
Lane 8.
equals ax squared. So I just equated them because y equals y. That means this equals this. This equals this.
The US champion 2018.
Okay.
Shocker for
Move everything
some. He came
over.
back,
Ax
followed that
squared
up with a second
plus
trials.
x squared minus
Here at
4x
21.
equals.
He had a couple of hamstring injuries in 2019. One of these guys that
Uh,
actually benefited
do I
from
take
the
the
postponement might not have been ready in
Possibly.
2020. Chava from Mozambique. Sergio Fernandez, 7-time Spanish champ. Jahil High,
So let me try
3
something.
times
X
he's
squared
won
outside
the
of
Jamaican
a
crown
plus
in the
1
400
minus
hurdles.
4x.
Also
Here we
got
go.
a global title as a youngster. The 110
4x equals x squared outside of a plus 1.
from Seychelles.
Cancel these. 4 equals x outside of a plus 1.
Mohammed Amin
I just want you to,
from Tunisia.
I used to always tell you to not do this, not cancel them. The reason I can at the moment is because I can,
Comes in with a
so the whole point of not cancelling them is because you reduce,
2021.
you lose a solution, but I'm only looking for this solution. You can easily see that there's another solution here, which is going to be 0, 0. So the reason I can cancel is because I don't care about this one, I only care about one of them. So by reducing the amount of solutions, I don't really care because I'm only looking for one in the first place. Okay, and now I rearrange and x equals 4 on a plus 1. 2 marks. Find the value of a such that the shaded area is 16 over 3. Okay, so I want this to be 16 over 3. So what I'm going to be doing is looking for an integral.
All the way across to
Let me just start writing stuff.
into
Integral
go over the first one, and that
from
is
0
see.
to whatever this point is.
Now
Now that point we just said before was this, so 4 on a plus 1. So from 0 to 4 on a plus 1
Get into the turn
of,
3.
now it's this minus
The
this.
seventh hurdle.
So this is
That is Hyde still
4x
running
minus x
very
squared.
well.
4x minus x
Clearly
squared.
in second, and from the
Take
host
away
country, Irimo
this
Yamaguchi.
line, which is ax squared. Take away ax squared
A little slow by Hyde,
dx,
but he can
and I
kind
want
of
that to
walk
be
this
equal to
home.
16 on 3. Okay, now I don't need to
Same
picture
with
it all, I'm just
Selman.
going to
They
do this.
cross easily.
Doesn't look
Yamaguchi
fun.
is into third,
Got to integrate.
and then we have a 4x4.
When I integrate, I get,
as
I raise it, divide by it, so
15th piece
2x
from
squared.
Germany
Minus
gets
raise
the
it,
other
divide by 1 on
qualifying
3
automatic spot
cubed.
as we come through in the
Raise it,
second
divide by
meter,
a
400
on
meter
3
hurdles.
x cubed.
So Jalil Hyde never threatened in that. Went through, looked very relaxed.
0 and
48.54,
4 on
comfortable
1. I
speed,
want that to be equal to
easy
16 on
qualification
3.
for him.
Really good run from
Okay.
Hyde. Yamaguchi. before.
Okay, cool, that's nice. These zeros are going to disappear, so
21-year-old.
but I am going to end up
Hyde
with
is sort of coming back to form. He had so much promise as a junior. I remember commentating on him doing the high hurdles in the Youth Olympic Games in Nanjing. It's taken him a few years to translate that into the senior ranks. Commonwealth bronze on the Gold Coast. A good run by Prius coming through for the fourth automatic spot. But this year, that PB of 48.18 shows you something's beginning to click again for the Jamaican. That looked really impressive.
0.
I think sometimes
So
if you're
0,
coming from
0,
the
0,
sprint hurdles,
0.
that's probably been your
I
background
want that to
as
be
well.
equal to 16
So
on
to
3.
build up enough strength and endurance and speed
Alright,
endurance to
I'll
run these
expand all
400
that.
meters can take a couple of years. It's not a particularly easy
Okay,
transition.
let's try to be smart about this. I've got a lot of the same things, so I'm going to factorize out
You know, I
4
look at
on
the
a plus
Jamaicans
1
and the Americans
squared.
now, and the Americans
What have I got
always done
left?
this.
I've got a 2
They've been, because
minus
you
a
have such
third,
depth in your sprinting,
4
that you have
a
super
plus 1
fast guys running
minus
sprint
a on
hurdles,
3
doing long jump, and such
4
depth in your 400
a
running
plus
400
1
hurdles, and you see that
16
now
on 3. There's a
starting to happen with
equals 16
Jamaica
on
as
3.
well.
There's a reason this is 4
And
marks.
it's nice to see
Holy moly.
those events that are developing
Man,
in
I wanna
other
expand that.
countries
It's gonna
where
be-
they've only always ever done sort of been known for their sprints, or in fact even distance runners,
16 on
getting
a
into some
plus
field
1
events and
squared.
shorter distances now.
Outside of
Managed
2
to reach
minus
yourself out there and branch out, excuse me, into some
4
of those other
on
places. There you see
3a plus
Jalil
3
Hyde, 48.54,
minus
comfortably across.
4a on
Ease through as well.
3a plus 3
Yamaguchi came through, and then
equals
Priest
16 on 3.
are the 4. And as you said, trying to find, you got to run the race.
Alright, I've got
several
16s
times
everywhere,
because
so you
there's
can
so
go and
many
you can
different
go.
ways to run it. Do I go
That
out
makes
fast? Where do I make
1
my move? Where am I
on
conserving
a
energy?
plus
Where,
1
and that takes a while for a
squared
guy that's in the straight line hurdle. You just
equals
go.
1 on 3.
Even also to understand the stock.
Oh,
Like, can I
2
do 12 strides, 13 strides? How do I
minus.
change down? How do I not? So quite complicated.
Okay,
This man doesn't make it look so
careful with my
good.
minuses. Yeah.
Karsten Varholm getting himself ready. Not his favoured
4
lane 7.
minus 4a
He doesn't
on
need to get too worked up about that.
3a
At the
plus
moment,
3.
He will be on the outside in lane 8. So Thomas Barr, the
so that's
Irishman, just on
minus
his
4,
inside. What a run he
4a.
produced in Rio. Just missing out on a medal, but all eyes in this one
Double
on
plus
the
minus 4.
world champion and now the world record holder. And there was something
I don't wanna stuff
poetic
this up.
about the fact that he did it in Oslo. Steve Graham was commentating at the time, and he said, no matter what medals he wins, this is a moment that will live with him until his dying day. To break a world record in front of your own crowd after so many months and a year and a half with very few people in a stadium, it was amazing.
And staggering.
I don't like minuses on fraction stadium. They are terrifying.
Even more remarkable.
And I think the fact that he's come from a decathlon background plays out really, really well with his strength. If you watch him when he runs, he hardly moves. His centre of gravity he's as solid
take a
as a
minus
rock. He
out.
just stays in that one
Okay,
place. He's
4
so efficient in an event like this.
plus
But those
4a.
years, his formative years as a decathlete would have built up that overall
Just trying to be
strength
heaps
of his
careful.
body. And he's been able to translate that so beautifully into such a control.
I don't like fractions, so he's going to go over here, and he's going to go over here.
Commonwealth champion Kyron McMaster goes in heat 4. Rai Benjamin, one of the fastest men in history, third to be precise. He goes in the 5th. McMaster, the first British Virgin Islander to win a Commonwealth title, sometimes gets his tactics wrong on the big occasion and just needs to maintain his focus. This guy, Nev, has a problem focusing. Karsten Warholm. There's Thomas Barr, the Silver Fox from Ireland, who starts in lane 7. Might be going a little bit grey, but can still deliver some good performances. 48.39 this season. Watch out as well for Alessandro Sibilio of Italy, who goes in lane 3. He's in cracking form. Confirmation of the lineup for heat 3 of the men's 400-metre hurdles. World record holder, world champion Karsten Warholm.
-5.
I actually think that's a great...
I'm moving this minus because it's annoying me.
Where he doesn't have to worry about anyone, just go and do his own thing.
Yeah, he won't see anybody.
He certainly won't expect to. Top 4, of course, making it through to the semis.
Am I anywhere near what's happening here?
Karsten Warholm, European champion,
God.
champion, world
Who knows?
record holder. There's one event missing from his collection. Is it destined to be glory? Well, first, he needs to make sure he makes the semis. Little trademark roar. Thomas Barr, just off the podium in Rio 5 years ago, looks quite relaxed. 29 years of age, European bronze 3 years ago. And lest we forget, we talk about Alisson dos Santos in the 4 hurdles for Brazil. Marcio Teles is a fantastic performer, semis of the Worlds 2 years ago. Wilfred Hapio, European junior champion 4 years ago, quality Frenchman. Luke Campbell, he goes in lane 4 for Germany, also a semi-finalist. And Alessandro Sibilio, European under-23 champion, he's in brilliant form, 48-42. Just a youngster, World Junior finalist back in 2018. And Gerald Drummond, 5 times the Central American champion. Costa Rica in lane 2. Top 4 then, coming back for the semis. We've seen excellent performances from Samba in the first heat, Jaheel Hyde in the second. What does the rock star have in store for us here, giving himself the trademark slap in the face? We might see another roar, there's a little bounce. So many great performances from lane 7. This is lane 8. And that is Thomas Barr, one inside him. What a figure to chase. Top 4 coming back for the semis. Men's 400 hurdles. Oh dear, just getting excited and setting the tone, and then they've been asked to stand up. We go again. We go again.
Can you not?
Did you catch the U.S. trials where they had trouble with the blocks and they started some 400-meter hurdles 5 times? They called them back.
Sounds like the old break before we had the break rule in, when we used to do that with the men's 100 metres.
Right, that was a little close-up of Gerald Drummond of Costa Rica.
Made a mistake here. That's sick.
Warholm on the outside, the world record holder. Thomas Barr, Ireland in 7. Teles, Brazil in 6. Hapio, France in 4. Campbell, Germany inside him. Sibilio of Italy and Drummond, Costa Rica. Warholm hoping to make this as smooth as possible. Full energy conserved for the massive battles to come. The Italian in 3, in the form of his young life. Just a warning for the field. Nobody disqualified, thank goodness for that. It will happen, touch wood, not too often. It's the Olympic Games, it's the National Stadium, it's the Arena of Dreams. Thomas Barr will be chasing the world champion and world record holder outside him, Karsten Warholm.
I have no idea what I've done wrong.
Norwegian Viking, ready to roar once more. What a treat here in the Olympic Stadium. Hope you're enjoying this first session.
I am enjoying it, thank you.
Brilliant to be here.
This is the point in the exam where I'm going to leave this in, screw it. This is the point in the exam where I'd be like, well, this sucks, and I'd probably go bang, bang, and then start again. But I'm not going to do that right now, because if you get to this point in the exam, I'd probably go, I need a fresh head. I'm going to attempt this again. So move on to another question, and if you have time, go back. I would have gotten most of the marks for this anyway. It'd be this. It'd be setting it up would be most of your marks. There's just a lot of algebra. I've obviously done something wrong. Hopefully it's quite obvious. If not, then I will.
In third place, excellent run by Campbell.
Okay, population of mice on an isolated island can be modeled by this. T is the
trying to finish quickly.
time in weeks, okay. So that's a year, is it? Population of weeks is the maximum of this when T is 13. Okay, so that tells me that's 13. The minimum of that was 39, so that's 39. What are the values of A and B? Okay. A is the amplitude.
Indeed it was. And you saw what happened with some of his technical stuff close to the hurdles, where he was chopping his strides a little bit because he wasn't running.
Amplitude's like how high and how low does it go? So it's like,
stride pattern, or his
what's
normal
this
pace.
distance in here?
Somebody that can do that and run that time so easily,
So
you can see exactly
that's going to be
he holds the world record.
Yep, we know he's got 2 seconds more in him if he needs it, but this was as casual as you can be
That'll
in this
tell me
event, and it's
all
the
of
one
that,
event
and then
really
I
that you
halve
can't be
it, so I
casual,
can divide
because
that by
there is
2.
still, no matter how good
That's
you are,
gonna
how
be
fast
3,
you
that's
are, there are
15.
10 looming
100.
disasters out there if
B
you get a little too
is
cute with this. So
the
business-like,
vertical
once he goes
translation.
through, handles the work that needs to be done across the line easily. Thanks, we'll see you in a day or two.
Which is how, so like what is this value? So it's going to be either 5,000 plus
Good finish
1,500,
from Sibilio.
or you could do that minus 1,500.
Campbell just took his foot off the gas, but he was safely through.
15,000.
Good running from the lead 4, but
This is the last question.
a showdown in prospect.
This is going to be hard, I can maybe see it.
Managed to get there.
On the same island, population of cats can be modeled by that. Consider the graph of MT and CT.
I feel like have to go
Okay. Consider the graph of CT and it gives me an equation. So in other words, it wants me to graph it.
one of the big names not to get through.
Okay.
Yeah,
Touche. I'll graph it.
anticipating that, what an unbelievable
That's
final
T,
that would be
and
for
that's
Neil.
CT.
I'm going to put this out there.
I'm going to be super
put this
neat.
out there. I think there will be world
Redemption.
records in
Find the values of T from 0 to
finals.
52 for
That's
which
how
they're both
fast they're going to
increasing.
have to
Is
run
this
to
it?
secure
Oh,
gold.
that was another
I
one.
think they know that as well.
Okay.
And they'll be prepared for that. The other thing that I think is going to happen is I think that the semi-finals.
Alright, it's raised. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to
to
move
secure
this
a
down
very good lane.
here.
You don't want to be drawing lane 2 in this case, but you do not want to be drawing lane 2 for the final
Now,
of the Olympic
if
Games.
it's raised
400 hurdles.
this,
Tough because it's the
and
tightest
it's-
bend and it's the hardest
I need to draw
hurdle
the
around when
cause.
you're a big man.
Normal cause looks like
The only
this.
thing I would add is that we haven't seen yet full on how quick this track is.
Varholm takes it.
Too quiet.
Heat 3, Thomas Barr, Sibilio.
If it's negative, that means it starts underneath.
Those 4 safely through.
So it starts
set
here and goes up.
entering semi-finals.
It's raised 120 and goes down 80, which means the highest point is going to be 120 plus 80 and 120 minus 80. 120 plus 80 is 200. 120 minus 80 is 40.
From
That's
the world
40,
champion
so it actually
right
doesn't go
into
below
the
the t-axis, which makes sense when looking at
semi-final,
population.
next,
If
heat
it's
of this
starting
one.
at,
Heat 4.
starting
men's
under the,
rugby
oh no, it's been moved.
Tyrone McMasterson,
Oh, wow.
British
This is
version.
fun. Okay, so it's been moved, it tells me it's been moved to the right.
Favorites to get through.
So rather than going like,
Monty Capello.
so normal cause looks like
Silver
this.
medals from
My
European
cause is
Championships,
upside
34 years
down,
old, but still fast.
but it's been moved to the right
Their host
10.
athlete there,
So that means this point gets moved that way.
Kawa.
So it's
He's
like
got 4 big
that.
wins here at home so far.
something like that.
Masterson. I don't know if they changed the rule just for
Okay.
They have changed
So that's 10.
the British Virgin Islands that if their athletes do get to the top of the podium, they now will play
It's,
Old
no,
Beautiful
it's nice that they
Virgin
factorized it for
Islands
me.
instead of God Save the Queen.
Let me look at the periods. The
And you know
period
what?
is
I
2
think
pi
that's
on
That's
pi on
absolutely
26,
right. I had the privilege
which is
of
2
going to the
pi
British Virgin
divided by
Islands
pi
on
on
numerous
26,
occasions. It is
which is
such
2
a
pi
gorgeous,
times
proud
26 on
island, and
pi.
they
That
had
means
such
they
a
go,
hard
that's
time with
nice,
the
which is
hurricane.
52.
Master is a
Okay,
huge figure of
so
importance
that means
for the
my
island.
period's
Everybody watching
52,
in Road Town, I
which
know,
means
will
it
be
comes
very
back to
excited
this
about
point.
his form. It's one
So
of the
we're
most
going to,
beautiful, passionate places I've ever
I'm
been.
just going to draw a line.
And that wasn't a plug for a free ticket back for another holiday.
Right. We'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce director from the British Virgin
There's
Islands.
a pretty
for
deep knowledge of
commentating
drawing
here
true
at the
functions. That's
32nd
interesting.
Olympiad.
Okay, that means this point is 10
Elena Simons
plus
there at
52,
7. Jordan Andrade, who ran as a
which
US
is
competitor
62.
as a junior, then switched
Not even after.
there to Cape Verde. David
Where the
Kazari,
populations
really
are
come
increasing.
on.
Well,
His form was not
increases.
great here in 2021,
Oh,
but he
62
made
is
it
too
through.
far. I'm only looking at it
Carlos
between
was
0
in
and 52.
2016 Olympic
52 being
bronze
here somewhere.
in this, and really, if it wasn't for Varholm, would have a couple of gold medals instead. He's got
Oh, of
European
course, because it's a year. That's a
silver in
period.
this.
I didn't really need to do that.
John Rowe in Jamaica.
Oh, I guess I did.
High, trying to get
Then
to
I need to know this point because it's only increasing here.
Kurokawa, who's got
So the only point where it's increasing is
on the
here.
island of Japan.
Increase.
Chiron
That must be
from the beautiful
10
British
plus
Virgin Islands.
26. So
Lovely
that's half the period.
place.
That's half.
47.50, his best time.
Yeah,
His
okay.
PR set
So
here
that's
in 2021,
36.
so
Okay, so that point there's 36.
he'd like to think
So
that
it's
he can get in there and run with the
increasing.
big 3 or 4 names in this. And we'll see how his form is over
From
the
10.
next 2 races and if he can get himself
36.
a lane in that final.
I don't like it written like that.
Not drawn himself the best lane here,
From
though, has he? We
10
talk about the tightness of the bend, and it's
to
difficult when
36.
you're a tall, strong person
Jesus.
to hurdle in
So that's
those tighter
CT.
lanes.
It's only 3 marks. What about, what's the other one? MT.
Varholm had his own
Where's that
issues
increasing?
having to be way out there and
Twice
28.
between here and here.
Masters will
So
deal
between
with
0 and
the
13.
curve from lane 2.
And where else is it increasing? Between 39 and 52.
Starter calls him up. Let's see if someone asked. There, raised a hand.
Okay. When did they both increase? What do they have in common? From 10 to 13
Something he liked.
and 36 to 39.
Let everybody shake it out.
No, just 10 to 13. Okay.
Chance to get
Both
rid of those opening
from
Olympic
10.
race jitters. Where does it add to?
Oh! Is that has to be right?
Joshua Abuakwa
Yes!
from Germany.
Okay.
Now in lane 8.
Whew. That was fun. I hope I'm still recording. Good. Okay, last question of the exam. Find the rate of change of the mice population when the cat population reaches a maximum. Okay. When does the cat population reach a maximum? It does that here at 36. So the cat
Hard there for everybody to
max
see.
at t equals
Mostly
36.
the starter.
Okay, so that
Yeah, what
puts
you don't want to see
maximum
is
here
the
at
guy come up with a
36.
red card and
Rate of change of the mice population. So the rate of change means the derivative. So what's m dash t? I don't even remember what et is. A, so what was A? A was 1500. So
Get themselves set back in the
15,000
box.
sine. Oh my god. Pi on 26t. And then it went up to 20,000. That's just empty. I need the derivative. Okay, this goes. How do you differentiate a true function? It becomes this.
Finally away in this
Because-
fourth heat of the 400-meter hurdles.
Four
35 meters
hurdles.
to that first one, and up and over they go.
Because
Out of turn
I
2
leave
is the
it-
second hurdle.
times by the derivative of the inside, which is pi on 26,
Kadziri is fine.
is 15.
Masterson also off well.
A nice number.
Hit up the stagger there on several of the athletes. First across that hurdle.
7500 on
Turn 3.
13. high.
group there as they're going to try to
Because
sort themselves out over the
high
last
on
4
26.
hurdles. Come to the
That
8th on the
bracket should
3rd
be over
turn.
here.
4th turn, there's McMaster. First over. Comes
Okay,
out of
my
the
watch
turn
reckons I need
leading.
to walk. I think
Comfortable lead.
that's true.
Capello
I actually
coming
want
on
to know
strong
what
there. He's got the second spot.
I don't know what it
Rowe
is
of
at
Jamaica and the
36.
American Kedzira comes in for 4th. So from lane 1, tight turn, but McMaster able to handle his business, comes across the line, makes himself
Oh, okay.
able to push through
Shall I
the
look
first
again?
round,
No, let's
as is the crafty veteran at
let's type this
34
in.
years old. Esmani Capello
7500 on
comes
13.
through in 49. Sean Rose, that's a season best.
That gives you a chance to look at the results of the 400 meters hurdles.
Fine hurdler at both 400 and 100 meters. 110 hurdles for the Americans is through, but McMaster put on his resume now. Heat winner at the Olympic Games.
Good stuff from Kyron McMaster. Occasionally, he can get it wrong on the big stage.
What have I done
Disqualified in the World
wrong?
Championships in 2017, although he did get that Commonwealth title.
No, I'm in degrees. It's
Gold
okay.
Coast
We
3
haven't
years
stuffed
ago.
it yet.
Good run. I
Radians.
thought Capello looked really confident. I was a bit concerned perhaps with that heavy strapping on the right knee. He's such a good major championship performer, Capello. And that's, it adds
This means
another
the rate of
little
change of the
twist to
mice population
dynamic of this
when the
race,
cat
because
population reaches a
if
maximum.
somebody's
There's
on
a way you can
form,
kind of half check
class
your
as a
answer, and
hurdler,
it's I'll look at
Capello
t
was
equals
also
36
capable
on
of putting
the
himself in the
mice
race.
one.
I agree, you took
This is
the
the
words
mice
out. I know
one.
he ran that
36
last
would be around
70
here.
metres
So the rate of change is at
easily.
negative, so you'd
Jogging
expect the gradient to be
towards
negative.
taken McMaster,
And
I
I've got a
think,
negative
in
value
the
here,
race.
so that's telling me that around about negative 640 mice per time period, which is week. So we're losing 600 mice a week.
Second round of the discus.
I apologise that I stuffed this up. I don't know what's happening to this.
66
I'm sure there's a
metres
mistake in there
is what
somewhere.
he's looking for, and that is not
Let's put a
anywhere
cross in there
near
so
it.
people don't think it's right.
So, as is often the
Alright.
case in field events at major
I'm happy with this one though. Happy we're able to graph
championships
that.
that have been recorded
51
throughout
minutes.
the season are not
It took
necessarily
10 minutes to try and
replicated.
fix this thing. But yeah, I didn't think this test was that bad. I did make a few mistakes,
This
but
season, so to throw, that's almost 59.48.
yeah,
I would
sucks to
suggest,
suck, I
but 10
guess.
metres lower. There you go, 59.47. How's that for a guess? Just